self-ordained, politically incorrect, mad prophet of the airways. The Conservative Syndicate is comprised of some of the most knowledgeable activists and pundits today that together seek to tear down the imaginary wall of separation between church and state through education, information, and engagement with those seeking the truth regarding the similarities and differences between the religion of politics and the politics of religion.
Well, by getting on Larry King and telling everybody I'm a Christian, and I wasn't raised in a Muslim home.
Americans have Muslims in their families or have lived in a Muslim-majority country. I know because I am one of them. As a boy, I spent several years in Indonesia and heard the call of the azan at the break of dawn. But I have known Islam on 3 continents before coming to the region where it was first revealed. That experience guides my conviction.
And lest we get on our high horse and think this is unique to some other place, remember that during the Crusades and the Inquisition, people committed terrible deeds in the name of Christ.
At what point does a baby get human rights, in your view?
Well, I think that whether you're looking at it from a theological perspective or a scientific perspective, answering that question with specificity, is above my pay grade.
I've got 2 daughters, 9 years old and 6 years old. I'm going to teach them, first of all, about values and morals. But if they make a mistake, I don't want them punished with a baby.
As long as we've got to fight to make sure women have access to quality, affordable health care, and as long as we've got to fight to protect a woman's right to make her own choices about her own health, I want you to know that you've also got a president who's going to be right there with you, fighting every step of the way. Thank you, Planned Parenthood. God bless you. Hey, all you can do is just tell the truth and trust in the American people that over time they're going to know what the truth is.
We are 5 days away from fundamentally transforming the United States of America.
And now, your host, John Matthews. Well, hello again, everybody out there in Radio Land and those listening around the world on the internet. This is the Conservative Syndicate, the nationally syndicated show that opposes the leftist progressive agenda. And how do we do that? The Conservative Syndicate is a show that tears down that imaginary wall of separation between church and state. We at the Conservative Syndicate seek out to tear down that wall through education, information, and engagement with those who seek the truth regarding the religion of politics and the politics of religion. Because it is time, people, to reclaim our standing as one nation under God. And no, I am not John Matthews. You can probably tell that. This is Joe Hakos. I'm here sitting in for John, who is out terrorizing the neighborhood near you. No, John is, he is our mad prophet, and he is on vacation. He'll be back next week. Hopefully all refreshed. He'll have some stories to tell, I hope, and hopefully he will share them with us. It'd be really fun to see what he has to say wherever he is out in the world. I can't recall where he was going, but I'm sure some tropical no, it's probably not even that. He's probably out wandering and seeing if the polar bears are actually floating on ice chunks because of global warming or something. John is like that. He would do such a thing. No, he might be out there just sitting there getting his little umbrellas in his drink, just kind of relaxing and having a great time. Again, folks, it's an honor to be with you tonight and every night this week. It's really good to be with you. It is an honor, and I do thank you very much. I know you folks have other things you could be doing other than listening to me, and we do appreciate that here at the Conservative Syndicate. So, again, thank you for taking your time out of your day. Well, it's the middle of the week, and it's always, there's so much we could always talk about. And just kind of to looking over the news here and seeing a couple things. And without question, it's something we always knew, but Tom Brady likes his balls a little softer. So just saying that. I don't really care about if Tom likes his softballs, but he likes them softer, so we're just going to let that one roll. And, as you get a little older, Tom, he'll understand. So, very good for Tom. Now, the fact is that they're going to go ahead. What are they going to punish him for liking softballs? I don't know. The NFL is kind of crazy, but only him and that locker room attendant knew what was going on. The coaching staff and the ownership, they did not know what Tom was doing to his balls. So, Belichick is safe on that one. Thank goodness for that. Now, a little bit more serious kind of news today. We have our friends in California. Oh, my. Friends in California, you're in a drought. I don't know if you knew that, but Jerry Brown, your governor, has made it a point to let everybody know that you guys are in a drought. So you're going to have to cut back. And and I have some notes here. Let me pull these up here. Give me a sec. Oh, yeah, see. Things we need to know. We should probably know about this this water restriction. Just the short highlights here. Nothing real deep and extensive here. But Jerry Brown Governor Jerry Brown has mandated that you're supposed to reduce urban water usage by 25% to help get through the drought. Yay. Wait, Jerry. I'm sure you're out there praying for rain and stuff, but I don't think you're going to use the water the right way to begin with. But that's a whole other story, Jerry. We'll let you go on this one. It's going to be all right. 25%. All right. So, but there's always something here. So why is the state doing it? We're going to have to remember, why is California, it's just not a drought now. Is California going to run out of water? That would be an honest question to ask, I would think. If you lived there, if you were in a neighborhood in California and you're being told you must reduce your water consumption, I would think you would go, are we going to run out of water? So, no, it's not going to run out of water. But if you conserve, it's the easiest way to do things. That way they don't have to do anything like, I don't know, build desalination plants or anything like that. Because if I remember right from my geography classes way back in the day, on that western coast of California is this thing called an ocean. I think it's the world's largest ocean, by the way. So the Pacific Ocean, my goodness, it's right there. So you could make that. Of course, that would cost money to do all this, and it would be, I don't know, you would call it forward thinking, I don't know, proper planning, but, it's okay. It's California and it's water. So, anyway, will it affect the little guys in California? Well, yeah, but guess what? There's government agencies going to oversee this, right? So, it's best to let your yard turn brown. That way your neighbors don't turn you in, so you get a fine. Well, so that's the thing, right? So, but will it be equitable across the board? 25%? Does everybody have to cut at 25%? Or there's only certain few have to cut 25%? Ooh, there's a question. Yeah. Well, each community has a water board. Water board. You see what I did there? And they will mandate between an 8 and 36% reduction in water usage, depending on your previous usage. Yes. Well, no, they're going to estimate because you have a track record. This is one way they have a track record, and they're going to use it. Keep that in mind. You'll see that later on in life that they don't always go by track records. So water frugal communities might not have to save as much as other communities that guzzle the water, So, and, there are places in California where you really don't have a lawn, so you can't stop watering your lawn because you don't have a lawn. There's, San Francisco, probably in LA proper, down, where John's at. He probably has a little bit of a yard. It might be 3 foot by 3 foot. which would be 1 square yard for our mathematicians listening. Okay, so, yeah, I digress. Does everybody have to do this? Here's another one. What happens if you don't conserve? Well, Governor Jerry Brown will give the local authorities to issue fines up to $10,000. Just saying. $10,000 fine for wasting water? Yeah, California. So what are we going to do? Well, probably you're going to see in California, you're going to see a lot of folks not watering their yards, which, to me, I don't particularly water mine either. In fact, I've been on record as saying if I could just asphalt it and paint it green would be fine by me. But, the neighbors probably would get upset with that because it looked like a big giant tennis court. So they're not going to go for that. So, conservation, I can see conserving water. That's a good thing. But, some things, not everybody's going to play, so there's going to be conflict there, and then you're going to have people arguing and neighbors, telling on neighbors and all that craziness. But, it's more of the same, the crazy things that go on in California. But what are you going to do? Here's one. Talk about some crazy news. The IRS refuses to fire its employees that they find cheated on their taxes. I know. Oh, that's crazy talk. Yeah. You think that's crazy? Here's an even crazier thing. Yeah. And sometimes when they found that these guys cheated, they actually either promoted them and or gave them raises. Yeah. The IRS. Don't pay your taxes. Cheat. Get promoted. Yeah, and then blame everything on the fact that you don't have any money because your budget hasn't been increased and you have to pay out more and you have to do more with less because you have to work, trying to enforce the Obamacare mandates. Yeah, okay. So we're going to go ahead and pay these guys more for cheating, and then, heck, sometimes we're going to go ahead and promote them. In about 60% of the cases of willful violation, IRS managers found mitigated circumstances and refuse to fire the employees, even though the law calls for that penalty. In some cases, managers didn't even know the documents why they were overridden the penalties. The Treasury Inspector General for the Tax Administration said, that would be J. Russell George. Well, the IRS, should they play by the rules? It's just the IRS, right? You think the IRS should ensure that all their employees are following the rules, or should they be breaking the rules? Oh, I know. It's just the IRS, and nobody likes them anyway, right? And as Koskinen, the guy running the IRS, has already said, John Koskinen, he's already said, don't expect me to apologize for any of this. None's warranted on his part. So there you go. Thanks, John. It's amazing that this is allowed to happen in this day and age. Oh, and there's a few other stories going on. I'm sure we probably kind of heard a little inkling about. You remember over the weekend there was a terrorist attack or attempted terrorist attack. I can say that, right? Easy for me to say. In Garland, Texas. Yeah, there's still a little bit of fallout on that, and I'm going to cover that when we come back from this, because we're coming up on break time. And just for a heads up, hey, Robert Cardoza from Robert Cardoza Live will be here in our second hour. I forgot about that. So, folks, stick around for us. I'll have some more to talk about when we come back from this short break. This is Joe Hakos here on the Conservative Syndicate, and we'll be right back after this next break.
You can catch all our show archives at theconservativesyndicate.net. The Conservative Syndicate, real conservative talk from real conservatives.
Attention taxpayers! If you've received a notice from the IRS or state, do not ignore it. It's also a big mistake to try and handle your tax problem on your own. If